What's up, guys? This is Jakob. I'm Content AI Manager and founder of Content AI Tools, a platform where I check and review Content AI tools, like the name is making sure that you get it. So welcome to a new episode of the Content AI Show, where I interview CEOs and founders of these awesome software that they produce. And very excited today to speak with Kristof Szabo, who's the CEO of 𝐂𝐿𝐴. It's a tool for creating videos, deepfake videos. And I already tested and created a couple of videos with this tool, and I'm super excited to speak with you today. Welcome to the show, Kristof.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, it's awesome that you have the time. Appreciate it. So can you, before we jump into the topic of deepfake and deepfake creation, video content creation, can you introduce yourself? So who's Kristof and why are you doing the things that you're doing?
Yeah, I'm Kristof. I'm originally from Hungary. I studied in Denmark, and I've been working with videos for maybe 7 years by now. Originally traditional video, so I know the process. I know how hard or how time consuming it is to create a good video, even if it's
Yes.
half a minute, even if it's 15 minutes. So first I came across with the technology, let's call it deepfakes, in 2018 and started researching it. So we started our first company in 2018 and we started 𝐂𝐿𝐴 about 2 years ago.
Yeah. So when you first time research about deepfake, what was your thinking? What was your first thing that you thought about it? Wow, it's fascinating, or wow, it's scary, or something? What was it?
No, I would not say scary. I still today don't think it's scary. I think it's scary if you don't understand the technology, if you don't understand how it works, and if you think about someone that might be exposed to the technology without knowing it exists or without knowing it's possible. But I was definitely not scared or surprised. I was more interested because it was with AI. And even I remember, maybe even 10 years ago, we were trying out filters on Snapchat where you could do face swaps. And that was my first impression, like, okay, this is, Nicolas Cage, but it's a face swap. Yeah, let's see what the technology is. Then looking into more and more into the actual technology and how it works and how it's different from regular face swaps. It started to become more and more interesting. But I did not necessarily see the business value right away because it was more face swapping at that time, especially. So the idea in 18 was to detect these videos or build a detection system. It sounded cool. It sounded like something, something important, something interesting. But even then, I would not call it scary. I would call it, more like keeping control, keeping, validating content. And then it evolved into validating not only deepfake videos, but any other media manipulation, any photoshopping images, any snipping and cutting and replacing things in videos or images, slowing down videos. That was the idea, and that was the value proposition, but it was never to scare people. It was more to prepare and more to enable people to check AI content with AI. If it was, when it was created, what was the source of the image or video. So it was always from that perspective, at least. So I never thought of it as scary.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also not scary. I just love it to test these kind of products and just write reviews. That's my main job. And okay, cool. But can you? Because I'm super curious. Because I saw the background of GPT-3. So how content AI writing assistants work. So what's the backbone of deepfake? So what are you guys actually doing? And I mean, if you go on the front end, I can choose my digital avatar, I can choose the voice and things like that. But what is actually happening in the black box that people can't see? So what is happening there?
That I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you because it's AI,
Okay.
it's machine learning, it's deep learning, it's algorithms that we have trained on a lot of data and
Okay.
in the last 2 years. So I do not know what's inside, and I also would not want to tell even if I did.
Okay.
That's our IP. That's what we've been building for the last 2 years. So it's several neural networks, deep learning models that we combine. Some are responsible for turning audio into video, some turning video frames into audio, and the other way around. So it's a mixture of both. Obviously, it's a neural network, so we need a kind of a long process to train these models and also to reproduce the results. But once we have the model, and once we have the model for, let's say, my face, then I can reproduce my facial movements with the help of these models and algorithms. So the simplest way I can explain it is lip syncing, so that I think everybody will understand. Obviously, coming from the music business, but today now you're able to record yourself and then lip sync any audio, let's call it, to essentially the audio waves. So what we do is we are first taking a model, we are translating their facial movements and the audio, and then putting that into our little black box, training it for a couple of days, and then taking the same model, the same face, the same person, and giving it a text-to-speech engine or just audio, and then translating that into waves that will make it lip sync to that audio. So that's in very, 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 very simple and layman terms, trying to explain it with words that everybody will understand. But it is a complex process that involves a lot of technical expertise and years of work. So that's where we are today. What you see in the front end is several of these human actors that you can place in your videos, give them a text essentially, and have your video in a couple of minutes.
Yes, and what's also cool, I tested several tools already, deepfake tools, and you're the second one where you can upload no, not upload, but you can create your own digital avatar, right? So you can record yourself, and then you guys within the team, what you described, you create my own digital avatar, and I could basically produce as much video as I want and create, so where I speak directly to the camera. And also one of the founders did this, I think, on the website. Yeah. I just watched the video, and I thought, I'm not sure, is it real? But he's also mentioning, or I read it on the website, that this is basically deepfake produced. And I think this is an additional service that you offer, but it's cool that you offer it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have any technical limitations, so we can have anyone as the model. We just have, of course, requirements for especially the technical, meaning the frame rate of the image, the quality of the image, the video that they record, and of course the audio. So once we have that raw footage, then it's fairly straightforward to create a model and create. Of course, the important part is to create the quality that is our quality that you can see in the app. So we are always striving to create the same quality for the clients. And many of them would create their avatar and use that in videos. And that's something that I think in the future will be more prevalent once the whole process will be more mainstream or more known by people. And there will be use cases where this is not something that I see working. Then there will be a lot that will be a clear use case for actually sending your digital avatar to create a video instead of you, because people will not care about the authenticity, or it will not affect the interaction between the viewer and the person on the screen. So I think some people are underestimating it, and some people are overestimating it. And we are trying to find the right use case for the technology, and not just be saying big things about it, like, oh, this technology is going to revolutionize this, democratize this. We want to find the right balance and the right way to handle the technology in the right place, so that essentially everybody can benefit it in the end.
Yeah. So I think, especially for consultants or for thought leaders who want to build their own personal brand, this is super relevant, because you're speaking in front of the camera. Instead of standing in front of the camera, you can use this kind of technology for creating videos for your personal brand. I think that's super relevant. But maybe can we speak, because this is something that I get all the time when I speak about AI and content. So what are, in your opinion, the major benefits using and are investing in this kind of technology and using deepfake?
So right away, two of them, and I think these are the most prevalent, is the scalability and this, like, let's call it internationalization. And with the scalability, I mean also saving cost and time, while not only putting out one video, but you can essentially sit down and create 5 videos if you want. And ultimately, that's the main value proposition of the technology and of our tool, and that's what we focus on. That on the long run, people will be able to create videos from their office chairs, and not just create one. Like, they would even go into any tool that you might use online for video editing, put together stock footage and text, and create a social media video or an onboarding video. But in the end, you can create videos in different languages. You can create it with different actors, and we are looking also including any new kind of innovative form of AI that we can think of, as you mentioned, GPT or other generative tools that are coming up and start to mature. Then we will also consider integrating those into the platform to even provide more value to the customers, and also kind of extend, become the go-to solution and the one place where they can create a video, and not only from having the text, but actually even generating the text inside the video. So I think that would be really covering the whole process of video creation in the end, and that will really contribute to the scalability of it. And then with that, of course, internationalization I mentioned, and syncing, lip syncing, and synchronization. Essentially, dubbing is also, I think, an interesting use case. It's not something that I think will come in the next 3 to 5 years, but in the end, or will be Hollywood productions, and you will be localizing it into different languages, and maybe even personalizing in the end. But that's very much in the future still.
So what gabbing? What do you think?
So if you create a movie in Hollywood and you want to take it and localize it to Russia, India, China, France, then essentially you will be able to use AI technology, and you don't
Okay.
you can sit down in front of your computer and just do it, and you don't need a studio even for that.
Okay, got it. So this means you don't need people who can speak Indian language. So you need AI. Okay.
So I don't even think you need people who speak the language. It will be AI translating the movie and AI dubbing the movie. So you will have Tom Cruise speak Russian in his own voice. So there are companies that are focusing on that, but I think it's still early, and there is still a big status quo that kind of have to be convinced that people have to be convinced that this works, and this is a way to scale movie productions.
Okay,
but I'm not in this topic. It's something I find interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So, but that would mean that in that case, you need the voice of Tom Cruise and train the models with his voice, right? So I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So scalability and internationalizing as the major benefits. Cool. Yeah, makes totally sense. Yes. Okay, can you maybe speak a little bit about the use cases, or if there are any use cases that you can speak about, of course, so from existing clients. So basically, are they worldwide, or do you have a specific geographic area that you focus on?
No. I mean, it's a digital tool, and anyone speaks basic English can use the tool. Of course, we have the most developed part, especially of the voice algorithms, is English. So we focus on English-speaking countries first and foremost, but we see clients from all over the world. And of course, larger companies, they always have English as the main language in the company. But we are introducing different ways to even globalize it even more. So different ways to translate the videos. So you can create an English video, or you can create a German video or Hindi video, and translate that to any other language. So that also is an option in the tool. So that's what I mean by one way of internationalizing content, but also making it accessible across regions. Yeah. So as for the use cases, basically, there's a lot of opportunities since a lot of people are using video. So video is everywhere today, and it's growing year on year. And we are getting, already bored of hearing how much video content consumption is growing every year on social media and digital platforms. But it's true, you can use video for a lot of things, and it makes a lot of things even more interesting. So if you are in e-commerce, product demo or product explainer video can help you increase your sales and get more customer or consumer trust. So those are, endless examples where you can use video. For that reason, I think it's important that we actually identify a market that can use this form of video content, because you cannot just shoot everywhere. We have to focus somewhere, and that's kind of right now we are in the process of validating several ideas, several use cases on several different markets and sizes of companies. So we see a lot of opportunity in explainer videos, in e-learning, in training videos, in marketing and sales, in different niches of marketing and sales. And yeah, in general communication, in corporate communication. So those are some of the areas where these forms of videos can be used very efficiently and effectively, while keeping costs at an extremely low level. So once you start using our tool, you can cut costs by tenfold easily. So we have heard numbers of from different corporates that are working with training videos very actively, and they are spending tens and tens of thousands of dollars on minutes of video that you would think, okay, this is you watch a video on YouTube and you're like used to it, because you watched it since you were, some of us, we were children, teenagers, and we were experiencing that on TV, and then we experience that on YouTube, and we see, this is a video, and this is the quality I expect, and this is the kind of the entertainment and the exposure that you are not only experiencing but expecting. And we don't necessarily, we are not ready to compete with that. What we would like to compete is producing videos in-house, different companies spending thousands of dollars and obviously hundreds of hours on developing content, and then recording content, then editing content, and then hiring a camera crew, and then equipment. So those are the things that we can replace with this one simple tool, and that will enable these companies to create not only videos much cheaper, but a lot more videos and a lot faster. So those are really unique selling points that we would not be able to compete with without the technology that we have built. So that's really the competitive edge that this the whole social media, synthetic media video landscape has, basically.
Yeah, it makes totally sense. I mean, I worked for a TV station back in my school days. So I started as a journalist, and I mean, you have this crew, and they have to sit in a car, and you have one editor and one or two
Right.
people who take the camera and build it, and then also it's one day for a couple of minutes of recording that is spent by this whole team. So I get this. I mean, I'm super excited about this journey, but what I always get, maybe it's also a German thing. This week I gave a presentation about content and AI, and one question is always coming is, okay, but we are to some degree replacing other humans who do these kind of jobs, and journalists, they freak out. When the first time I was working full time and as a journalist, and I got this idea of AI produced content, and I was the only one who was fascinated about this. The other one were more critical and said, well, the AI needs a couple more years. What do you think? So there's always, this is the flip side. So there will jobs be replaced? Is that the reality? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's not binary. So people, we are scared because jobs will be replaced. You will be using more and more AI tools, and AI will it reached the maturity level that it's actually underlying all the processes. It's on Netflix, it's on YouTube, it's on, in things that we are doing every day, and it's AI is learning, and this, the data is really growing, and then that will enable us to create these algorithms and models that will support our work and our life. So I would not say replace. I think transform this is 100%. And that's why a lot of people are talking about future-proofing yourself. So I think where humans will be still best is all I would not even call it creative tasks, because you think of creativity as, DALL-E and GPT-3 in some way. So I would not confuse that with it. I would think of things where humans are still the best is where you have to combine two different fields of expertise. So if you're thinking about, AI will be able to automate and scale processes, and those can be creative processes, as traditionally we think about as creative processes, like copywriting. So you can go to a tool that uses GPT-3, and you will be able to put in, a headline, and then it will create an outline, and then it will create paragraphs of text that you can publish, and it's ready. So that's also a creative process, like journalism, obviously, but it is really scaling and automating the process. But I think the creative, kind of the coming up with the idea, also understanding what will interest people and what will, be a trending topic, is still, a human task. So in this way, I still think about it as you will have to, sit in that car and go on, if something happens as a journalist, you have to drive there, you have to take your camera, you have to record it. AI is not going to be, recording it for you. If there was a baby polar bear born in the zoo, you will still have to take your camera, but you can pretty much automate the copywriting of it, because you just have to put in the text, baby polar bear was born in the zoo, and then AI will write your text. So you will save a lot of time on researching and then perfecting the copy. So really the time-consuming process of creativity in this case. Yeah, I mean, you have to get ready, and there was no innovation ever that did, that's still impacting our life and did not transform, jobs like it was 100 years ago. The only difference today is that it's happening in our lifetime. So it's not just happening, every 100 years, but it's really happening. And then the diffusion of this innovation is also a lot faster because of all the connectedness that we have and the digital world that we are living in. So if somebody starts, using TikTok in China, and it's something that people like and something that has, let's call it, a positive effect on our lives, which might not be true, but it has an effect on our lives, and it will in a couple of years, reach the US and reach Europe, and people start using it as well. So it's really always, I believe, the innovation that is important, it will reach our lives and it will affect all our lives. And in some way, it will take our jobs, but not our jobs. It will take some of our tasks. It will be automating some of our tasks, and it will help us in the end if we know how to use it right. So yeah, I'm not scared. I'm just, I would very much support everyone to get to know about innovation, get to know about technology, what tools are available, and how it can help us. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I like the answer. Yeah, yes. So that's also, I'm asking these questions because I'm taking your arguments, and next time when people ask me, I will use these arguments to make a point. Yeah, basically. Awesome. So can you speak a little bit about your team? So how big is it? What kind of people do you have? Just curious. Are they remote or are they in one building? I guess they're remote.
Yeah, we are mixed. So we were born in COVID. So we kind of united the benefits of that. We are also very relaxed about our work policies, to put it bluntly. We do have headquarters, the main one in Budapest, with the product team. We focus on the product, and this is where we are participating in the ecosystem. But we have, so we started in Copenhagen with the idea, then we went to Berlin for an accelerator, APX, and then after that, COVID started, so everything was more or less remote. That's where we actually started building the company. So some of our employees are in Pakistan, some in Turkey, some in Denmark still, some in Spain, some in Hungary. So it's widely distributed, and we have these different little headquarters. And I think that we will use the advantage of this in the future, but we also see the benefits of having offsites, hopefully every quarter, but at least every half a year, where we come together for a week and work together. So I think that's more and more of the practice of a lot of these international companies, a lot of distributed companies. So that's how it is. For now, it is working. And then for this reason, I think the major benefit for us as a company is that we can hire talent from anywhere in the world. So it's not such as every university has a synthetic media department or a synthetic video expert. It's a rare talent, and still AI researchers are a job that you can always get a job with it, and they are highly sought after, especially so when somebody's somewhat of an expert in synthetic media or different face models and stuff like that. So we are lucky to have that talent on our team. And for that reason, we are also obviously open to not only hire from Hungary or from Europe, but worldwide, and bring this talent into the company, because on the long run, it will be huge advantage to have that on the team.
Yeah. So in the long run, what are the goals, and what is the big vision for the next 2-3 years for 𝐂𝐿𝐶?
I mean, it's very simple and very straightforward. We want to find product market fit and really find the market, the use case where we can grow. It's as for any early startup, I think that's the idea. And the vision is really what I've been talking about now for a couple of minutes, is really making the processes scalable and easy for companies and people that are wanting to create videos for whatever use cases that I might have listed, or we might not have discovered it yet. This use case that I think is interesting, and I'm not sure if we are ready for it, but this scaled messaging that you mentioned briefly before our call is to send personalized messages to people. And this is I think it's still a lot to discover around it and how it works and what kind of added benefit there is to it. But essentially, personalizing videos based on, I don't know, the location, the language, the name of the person that you're sending it to. And an obvious use case is, of course, sales videos. So I think that there will be a use case for it, but right now what people are using it for sales videos, I'm not 100% sure it's ready for it yet. And another use case, just out of curiosity, I think these are both interesting use cases that are yet to be discovered, is essentially video chatbots that you can imagine as voice chatbots. So giving Alexa a face, in short, that could be an interesting idea for the future, but I don't think we are there yet.
Okay, this means I'm asking a question like, I don't know, where can I find the bathroom or something in a big building? And then Alexa is popping up and got this message already 1,000 times and can answer this message, this question, saying, okay, you have to go 100 straight forward and then go right. Something like this.
Something like that. But I'm still like thinking if that would be that like an AI concierge, it would be people would feel like, oh, okay, it's calling me.
That's weird.
Like that's a very good service, but so that's kind of in between. I think from tricking people with personalized sales messages, I don't know how that will turn out. I don't know if people will like that on the long run. So it's really, I think, people started using that. So once people more and more learn about, like, it will lose the effect, or it will lose the effectiveness, because like, okay, this is AI generated and that's why they are calling me by. So it has this effect, and you can use that in communication for sales, for politics, for marketing. And then there is this kind of AI concierge that is helpful, but it's kind of useless because kind of like something writing on the wall would have the same effect. And if I go into a hotel and I have on my TV I have welcome to our hotel Kristof, that like it's nice to have, but it's not necessarily like the need to have. It will be not like a long term differentiator for the hotel. And then the last part, which I think would be interesting and would help, or not necessarily help, but it would, I think, stick with people, is in the entertainment industry. So either for gaming, you can have this kind of personalized, fun effects, fun elements. If you are playing Pokemon Go and it's, talking to you by your name and then, telling you up-to-date stuff that is interesting and engaging, so that you would probably spend more time playing it. Or GTA, and then, you would have maybe famous actors that are talking to you.
And say your name.
So that could be the use case. That could be something where I see the added value. So this is a complicated question, and I think it's more of a psychological question for people, like what is the value, what is the added value, and that's what we always have to ask.
So I used another tool where I uploaded myself. You can do this on this tool yourself. I just recorded myself and produced a deep fake video with myself. I sent it to people that I know, to friends and colleagues, and asked, so what do you think? And everybody was like, it's just so scary, Jakub. Please don't send me again something like that.
Right.
But it was obviously deepfake. I mean, I made sure that they got it because I used another voice. It was not really my voice, but it was my face, which was the voice was also speaking into the camera. But it looked like, I mean, it was like there was no soul inside in the eyes.
Right.
And but I think it's a quality. It's also a thing of quality. So I think 𝐂𝐿𝐻𝐿, when I look into the faces of the avatars, it looks really good. So you can see very detailed, like somebody is in front of the camera. And so far I was impressed by the quality, and we will see. But I also get the point. Well, what is the value inside? And I also see it mostly in the consulting business. So these kind of explainer videos where you stay in front of the camera, and in the background is a PowerPoint presentation or a video going on, and you're explaining things. So I see that this is the lowest hanging fruit, in my opinion. So
got it. Yeah. I mean, one part of our clients is definitely from consulting background, and they are using it for reporting, let's call it, or presentations. Still, there is this, question of, what's the benefit. But I do know that a lot of these firms, a lot of these, essentially, let's call it, I don't know what to call them, because there are a lot of different account managers maybe, or just managers, or doing weekly reports or monthly reports. So these people that are working for these consulting companies, they are doing these reports, and obviously doing video reports is a lot more fun, a lot more engaging. They can use different tools like Loom to do them one by one. But in this case, it could be automated. And if there is added value that you have this face-to-face contact with your client, then it makes a lot of sense to use the tool, and that's where we see some adoption already, and hopefully we'll see even more in the very short term. But I'm just wondering, if it's really that much of an added value, because I never worked in consultancy. But what I hear is that they are using it actively, and they are actually doing these video reports, and they are working better than just traditional reports. So I can definitely see, creating your own avatar and then doing a report as such. But in the case that you mentioned, it's exactly the opposite of my philosophy. Is sending your avatar to your friends. It's something that you are not gonna have any added value to it, because it's obviously your friends, and there's some there you are communicating, and that's an authentic way of communication. You're not gonna be sending artificial videos to your friends. It can be fun, it can be interesting if you do it for a joke, but there's obviously no added business value.
Yeah.
And kind of a tangent idea is obviously Cameo, where you would do the same with famous people. So there can be definitely a branch where you even can create a video with famous characters, famous historical figures and stuff like that. So there will be a business for that. There will be someone doing a Cameo clone with people that you would not be able to request a video from. So you can do a video with Albert Einstein or Al Capone and presidents, George Washington and stuff like that. But yeah, that's more of a fun app that you can do. But for example, if you think about it, it could be interesting for a historical class to bring a video with Lincoln explaining his term as president to students. Like that could be an interesting use case. There I see a lot of added value in creating that tool. But that's a different story. We're not focusing on that right now, but I can definitely see the application of the technology. So it's not only creating your own avatar, but creating avatars for famous people and bringing them back, at least digitally.
Yeah. Like some kind of digital library to some degree where you can ask the person questions. Yeah, that's also cool.
That's the future, definitely.
So one thing that I spoke with one of my business partners, so we made this podcast and spoke also about deepfake, and we came with this idea of therapists. So when I don't know, you have a phobia you can't swim in the open sea or something, or you're scared for spiders or something, and then creating a deepfake video where you see yourself. I mean, it's only your face, inside of the body of the avatar, but you're holding the spider and you're smiling and having fun, or you're swimming in the ocean and you're seeing yourself, more like a visualization where you and there are many studies that shows, okay, when you see yourself in a movie, then your brain accepts the fact that you you must master it to some degree.
Right.
Is there something that is there a use case, or do you have experience in that field, or is this even interesting?
I think so. Yeah. That is definitely, that's a very, very interesting idea. I'm not an expert, but I think that is something that can be easily done and that can be created for the benefit of a lot of people. And I'm definitely not an expert, but if it's something like if this thing exists, which is like visualization or visual therapy, yeah, that is pretty straightforward to do, and it would be pretty interesting to do. And another, not necessarily related, but it's kind of like in between the two. For example, if you have a trauma because your family member died, that could be an interesting one where you bring them back and you have a conversation with them, and then you kind of clear things up, and you can have this release of the trauma this way with the digital clone of the person. So that could be also something where it will be interesting. And just by chance, it's also, we see a lot of interest for the technology from medical companies, and not necessarily for this use case, but we see that there is a lot of openness for innovation, basically, from medical companies in medtech. Not sure why. Maybe medtech and fintech had been a buzzword for the last 10 years. So I think they are just in general more open for innovation, and they will be early adopters of a lot of technology where you can automate processes and make them better for people and make them more efficient for the company. So I think we will very soon see this use case emerge.
Cool. So, but yeah, maybe back to the example that I gave. You said it would be easy to produce, but when I think of deepfake software, I always have this picture in my mind. It's straightforward. Somebody, an avatar, standing in front of the camera, but not necessarily moving or something. But this would be something that the deep learning models can do, so that you. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the focus had been, as I mentioned, the syncing, the lip syncing. primarily.
Yeah.
But the next step will be to move the whole body, and it's not even as complicated as the let's call it facial movement. You know, the face is really complex structure in AI, you know. And then
Yeah.
the other thing is we are looking at faces all the time. So if you move your face funny, then people will be like, we have this kind of sense to discover uncanny movements and features. And if somebody's mouth is not moving right, and if you know, we are all day looking at faces most of the time, even on camera. So we are expecting that, especially, you know, Zoom had an advantage in the beginning because they didn't have the lag. So they were very much video first. And for that reason, people preferred it because it was more natural to talk to people on Zoom, essentially. So we have a very good sense of something is, you know, out of sync. And a lot of tech companies are focusing on this kind of natural way of presenting audio, video. Even Spotify, you know, you have a 200 millisecond. That is the kind of time frame you have to start a song. So there is no lag because then people feel it as if it was real time. So examples like that is really underlying how we perceive reality, how we perceive each other. So for this reason, it's a very important aspect of this. So we are paying a lot of attention to natural movement and having natural characters and as lifelike as possible, while also maintaining that these are AI actors and we do not target use cases where the authenticity is an important aspect. So like sales messaging, for example. So we only target where the receiver will also benefit from it, maybe because it's an explainer video, so you will understand it better when somebody is explaining to you. And also the creator of the video will benefit because they do not have to record themselves or go to the studio or hire a camera crew. So regarding the body movement, I think it will be, we're already researching this topic and there are already models existing. It's not something that we are, you know, pushing 100% forward, but it will come, I think very much, you know, even in the next year. And you will be able to give movement to your actors. The question is, you know, what will be the added value and the benefit? Will it be, you know, explainer videos when you're pointing to different directions? One obvious benefit will be the rhythm. So when you're speaking, you know, you're moving your body in accordance with the facial movements and head movement and the end of the sentence and the emphasis. So that will be an important improvement for the more natural perception of the avatars. And then the next, I think, you know, if we go for use cases that are maybe more from the explainer direction, you know, pointing to different directions and such as that, like whatever you see on TV, maybe in the weather show, you know, you're showing where the storm is coming. Those can be interesting, but I don't think, you know, we will have to make our avatars dance on the screen or do different sports. So that we will leave for the professionals.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just asking because of this fear, this therapy. So if I want to show a video or avatar AI produced video, how somebody is jumping into the water and is swimming in the open sea, do you think that could be possible?
In that case, what it is already possible, but in a different different way. So you can have basically a body, an actor that will act out the whole sequence. If they have fear from spiders or swimming, then we can record them and then we can essentially do a face swap. So it will be pretty straightforward. And then I would expect our technology come in play when you would basically have the person talk to herself or himself on the camera. I think that would be very interesting to have sort of like your own avatar telling you can do it and kind of visualize it. And that's a very good point that I think visualizing is very important. It's it was researched how, you know, people that do sport, like I also heard interviews with Cristiano Ronaldo and Michael Jordan, how they imagine themselves in the game. And yeah, visualizing it I think it will help a lot of people who don't have necessarily, you know, the power of imagination and like, professional sportsmen. But if we put it on screen and then send them maybe, notifications with these reinforcing messages and reinforcing videos, that can definitely fight at least some forms of fear or phobia.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So it would be a mixture of self-produced videos by a team who's out on the field and face swap. That's the main.
That is how it's doable today already.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Or I'm just looking. So what? So because I'm using another tool, Pictory, where you can create imagery videos, and I could look up what is the AI giving me, and then use this video, which is also AI produced, to produce another AI produced video. Yeah. This would be maybe what I would do, but yeah.
Overuse of AI, but yeah. I mean, it's if you do some market research, I think you can start a company like that.
I think that so my business partner. So we have a third person who's a professor within the healthcare business, and he already did this research. So he's according to him, it's very lucrative and a big enough market, and yeah, but it's more like a future that the therapist can use for helping. It wouldn't be the only thing that solves all your problems, but it's one tiny model that they have, because you can't fix everything by just watching a movie, and you still need some support and help. Yeah,
it's part of it, and also I think it will work for some. It will work better than for others.
Yeah.
So there is a use case within the use case, and yeah, as you mentioned, swimming or fear of spiders. Yeah, if it's like something that you have to visualize, and it's more like a like a physical fear of something, then makes a lot more sense. Yeah, and I think this is a form of therapy, definitely, like visualization, imagining yourself. That is very important. Have a vision of yourself.
Cool. So, Kristof, where people want to know more about you or want to try 𝐂𝐿𝐶, where should they go?
Yeah, I mean, they can contact me on LinkedIn. I'm everywhere. I will be on your site, and you can also come to 𝐂𝐿𝐶.com, COLOSSYN.com, and yeah, I will be online. I will have my avatar very soon. There you go.
Yeah, you're going to have your avatar, your own avatar?
We'll be launching it very soon. Yeah, a lot of people are asking where it is, so I will be. And I would definitely make myself available for some of our clients at least. So if they think that I fit their brand, I will be happy to deliver their message. And if they want their own avatar, then the same place they will find a how-to guide. But I would be happy to talk with anyone and discuss this technology and discuss where we see ourselves in the future and how you can already start using synthetic videos in business, and how you can, as I said, scale and localize videos.
That's awesome. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. It was so many points. So like I said before we went live, so I get all these questions, and I love to throw these questions to the guys who have more experience than me and who are actually working with them on a daily basis. So it was very thrilling, and I will definitely use some of them in my next conversations, and also in my next talks. Really, thank you. And if there are any questions from the community, just let us know in the comment section. I will forward it to Kristof. And yeah, thanks for watching. Is there something that you want to share?
No, thank you. I really enjoyed it. No, really, really, really interesting questions. I was happy that we had a little discussion, not only around the technology and the hardcore, really tech facts, but I really had this, little bit of a detour into psychology and how it can be, technology can be helping people in their lives. So that was cool. Good questions. So thank you.
Thank you. I mean, it's the major thing. It's about the benefits. That's at the end of the day, everybody is.
Yeah.
It's always about the benefits.
Without the added value and the benefits, we're not going to have a business. So it's important.
Yes.
Keep an eye on that.
So thank you, Kristof. Hopefully see you soon again. And yeah, thanks for watching and see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.